I have the lovely and very experienced Linda Back here today, who's one of my amazing clients in the Package and Prosper Mastermind. And I asked Linda to jump on and have a chat today with me because she's had really great success moving from that one-on-one model in her clinic to just tweaking things slightly, but having a massive difference, and now working with groups of clients in her program. So Linda, did you want to say hi and introduce yourself and let us know, a little bit about your journey so far as a practitioner?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Linda. I've been a practitioner for almost 10 years. So I graduated, oh gosh, back in 2012, I think it was. So I'm a naturopath and nutritionist and a herbalist. And I also recently completed the training to become a metabolic balance practitioner as well. So um, my practice, I just run it from home. I'm in Toowoomba, so just inland from Brisbane, up on the top of the Great Dividing Range up there. An area that I absolutely love, but I guess my biggest challenge that I've had in my practice up until recently is that I didn't really have a niche. So I was basically a GP nat, and yeah, so that kept me busy, but I really did find that I felt under a lot of pressure to try and know everything, and also the one to one.
Mm.
I was finding that was rewarding, but I was getting quite exhausted and quite burnt out with that. So that's basically where I am. And when I found you and found the Package and Prosper Mastermind, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
where I'm at.
yeah. And I'm so glad you did. It's funny. It's such a common story, isn't it? Like, we go into practice, we see clients one on one, things get busy, it's great, but it's exhausting
Mm,
for the
mm,
practitioner. Like, I think probably, I don't know, 65, 70% of members in the mastermind at the moment would have a really similar story, and,
mm.
and really got to the same point where they were like, okay, I'm at capacity, I'm exhausted. How can I do this so it's not burning me out as well? And my story as well in my clinic was pretty much that too. So yeah, very, very sad, but true. But luckily there are other ways to work. So tell me, it was really interesting, wasn't it, Linda? Because I'm a metabolic balance coach as well. So we knew each other through the practitioner
Mhm.
support group. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it wasn't long after you trained up in MB. So you already experienced Pracky before that, but decided to bring that into your clinic. And then you had this like not stroke of genius, because it was just pure luck, wasn't it? That you had
Mm,
this
mm.
editorial piece in your local paper, like a full page was it an interview? How did
Uh,
that all work?
yeah, it was an interview. So it was, yeah, in our local paper up here, which is the paper. We only have the one paper, the Chronicle.
At least you still
And
got one.
yeah, that's it. That's right. And I actually happened to know somebody that knew the editor, and she was just looking around for a story. And basically, they decided to come and do a story on the metabolic balance program, which I'm the only practitioner in town to be doing it at this point in time. And when the article came out, it actually came out on the busiest day of the year for the paper, right before we have our carnival of flowers. So everybody goes and buys the paper because they're
Wow.
looking for all the, where to go for all the gardens. And it was also a whole heap of the schools had just had their formals as well. So basically everyone was buying the paper that day. So, and I just happened to be in it. So I guess I
How lucky is that?
loaded after that.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
did,
that
didn't
was
it?
good.
And you had
Yeah.
like this huge wait list when you
Yeah.
first reached out to me and we had a chat, didn't you? And
Yep.
you're like,
Yep.
how am I gonna how was it, months long? How long was it?
It was about 8 weeks, but what I had to do was start blocking some time out in my diary because I was getting all these new people coming in, and that was great. And then it suddenly occurred to me that I had to fit all these people in for all their follow-ups, and if I got too booked out, I just wouldn't be able to to move
Yeah.
them through the program. So that was a bit overwhelming, and it sounds great, but it was a bit stressful. It was quite stressful at time, and
Yeah.
yeah, it caused me a bit of lost sleep, and I really had to overflow into some other days and that I had allocated for my own time and working on weekends and things like that. So that was an experience, but yeah, not one I'd like to repeat.
Yeah,
Mm,
understanding. Like it's a really good problem to have in
mm,
business, isn't it? But it also shows if you're your systems or the way that you deliver your service isn't geared for that massive influx of new clients, it can be really overwhelming. So,
Yep.
And so tell me, so now, how are you running? So before you were running your program just one-on-one, face-to-face in the clinic, weren't you? So they were still
Correct.
signing up for a package or program, which is
Yep.
fantastic. Like that's my step one for anyone that's still doing that consult by consult sort of scenario. It's like, let's package something up. Let's work with committed clients. Let's work with them minimum 3 months, because we know we need time to make changes.
At least that. Yep.
You know, even as you would know, like some people in the mastermind, some practices have 6 and 12-month programs, like even better. But yeah, 3. So you're doing that. So that's good. You had the package. How do you now work? Like what does your program delivery look like now for clients?
Yep. Sure. So when I did first start with the MB program, I was seeing people 7 times. I was seeing them for 7 appointments plus their initial. So they'd come in for their initial, and then they would sign up for their package, and I'd see them 7 times. And that was good because, yes, they had the commitment. And, you know, obviously that also filled my books up. But I found that was not only was it a bit of overkill, they didn't really need that many one-to-one appointments, because they'd come in by about the 3rd or 4th appointment and they'd say, you know, I've pretty much got this in the bag. And I'd say, how's this going? And they go, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, how's your digestion? Oh yeah, it's all good. How's this? You know, so it was basically, I was kind of like, okay, they're not really needing this level of support. So now what I do is I see them for an initial, and then I see them twice, just to make sure that they've got a good grasp of the program. And then the rest of the support that they receive is a little bit similar to your package, Hayley, where I've got my online curriculum, so they can just log into that and go through that as they need, and the weekly group sessions on a Wednesday evening, which is fantastic. So and the other thing is the Facebook group. So that's been really active. Not everybody's in there, but that's a lovely support group for people, and it's growing all the time. And I often find that, you know, somebody's asked a question and I haven't actually seen it, and then when I go back to have a look and check in with my group a little bit later, somebody else has answered for me. So it's really taken that whole that pressure off me and allowed me to have a lot more flexibility. And also, because I'm not seeing people at the same level, I've been able to offer the program to more people. So I've got a lot of people that are keen for it but haven't been able to get in. So it just means that they can come in sooner.
Yeah, that's right. So you're able to scale and help more people, but still maintain your sanity and your balance. We're so lucky with the type of treatments that we offer that, we can do the video, which is
great. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so tell me then, because you had a record week not that long ago, didn't you?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, so, and you were kind of a bit like about it. Like it was. So you tell me what happened. Like how many clients did you sign? Like what was your week?
Yep. So I guess my goal or my sort of sweet number for new patients is probably about 2 or 3 a week. I find that's enough for me, physically, mentally, and financially. But this particular week I had 6, so that basically brought in a good month's worth of income, or what previously would have been a month's worth of income within 4 days. So that was
amazing.
Yeah, that was. So that was a little bit confronting, but it was good. So
so what's the price of your program?
So my program is $1,750 all up, so that includes their initial. So far I've been finding that seems to be the right price at the moment.
Yeah. And that's 3 months, isn't it, of
Correct,
support that
yes,
you give? Yeah, fantastic. And so down the track we could look at maybe a longer program if you wanted to, or a VIP upgrade or something for those. But what you're doing is working, and how good is that? And for those of you, listening into the interview, you can do the maths. I'm not going to try and do it in my head, but 6 new clients at that level, in my opinion, is what we should be bringing into our businesses, because we are literally changing lives. I know you had a bit of it was like an upper limit sort of problem there, wasn't it? You were like, oh my gosh, how is this? But I said get used to it, because that's and how wonderful that there's more people, but there are those people wanting to invest it at that level,
absolutely,
to help their health. And you most people would probably get to the end of your program and say, I would have paid double that now that I know how great I feel. So, yeah,
No, it's been really
amazing.
popular.
Yeah. And
Mm.
so how have you found the mastermind experience? So you, as you know,
Mhm.
I run it in pretty much the way that I teach all of you to run your health programs. In
Mhm.
we have the online curriculum to follow through. We have our weekly group coaching calls, but on those calls you get one-on-one
Mhm.
coaching. So you
Yep.
are getting, my eyes on your business. We've got a very active Facebook group that is so much fun. You have to like gifts though. That's kind of an
Yeah.
unspoken rule,
That's it.
isn't it? Like we prefer to
Yeah.
speak in gifts.
Yeah.
What else is there? Yeah, and then all the done for you materials and bits and pieces.
Yep.
What out of all of that have you found most helpful that you?
Probably a combination, really, because the online curriculum, I'm loving working through that. It's very structured, and I did get a lot of insight out of that. So things like the branding. So I've printed out my archetypes and I've popped them up on my wall in my office. That's been really good, and obviously the mindset stuff too. I think is absolutely critical that we really do need to do that up leveling, as you've said, with the mindset. And I've got the statements that you've given about the value of our work. I've got those printed out, so every now and then I get them out and I look at those. So that's been really valuable. The Facebook group, no, I haven't been very active in that, but I think I get a lot of insight that helps me from what other people are doing. So and I often find that when I'm on the call, I don't get to all of the calls, but there's usually some little gem that I get. Somebody just says something and it'll just be a phrase or a sentence, and I go, aha, and so I write that down. So even on the times where I'm not needing that support, I'm still getting heaps and heaps of value out of it. So yeah, just knowing that, I think the accountability side as well, when you do any kind of mastermind or any kind of program, you're going to, the more you get out of it, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. So so no,
absolutely.
good for that accountability side of things.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad you like that, those gems, and that's it, isn't it? You sometimes you don't know what you need to know, or even what's possible, and sometimes hearing other people, you're like, oh my gosh,
that's a really great idea, or that's a great phrase, or just some so no, I've got a lot of gems out of that.
Yeah, good. Oh, it's so good having you in the program. Is there anything you would say to somebody? And then I'll let you get. Linda's actually on holidays at the moment, guys, so she's has a well-earned break. I won't keep her too long. I'm sure there's a lovely cocktail by the pool that has her name on it.
Sounds good.
But yeah, just to wrap up, if there's any practitioner out there that might still be working one-on-one in their clinic and kind of feeling how you were feeling before, and they've maybe they've heard the idea of coaching groups or doing some parts online and kind of morphing and creating this sort of, I guess, dream way of working, how they want to do it. What would you say to them? Just any words of wisdom or any advice that you would give to them if they're kind of on that, like, oh, is it possible? I don't know.
Yeah, look, I think it's absolutely possible, and I think we're crazy if we don't move to this kind of model. There's only so far that you can go with the one-to-one. It only goes to a certain level before you just physically cannot, have any more hours in the day. And the more people that you can help, the better. So for most of us, we're very caring people and we want to help as many people as possible, but you can't help anybody if you're burnt out and you're not functioning at your best. So this is a great way to be able to help as many people as possible, but also not making it at a cost to yourself. So so I think it's absolutely a great way of doing things. And the other thing is too, the interactions between the group and these people that you put together. There's something magical about it. So
definitely. Community is everything, don't you think? It's just
and so important at the moment too, with everything that's been going on. I think that connection is more important than ever.
100% agree. Well, thank you so much, Linda. It's been great chatting with you, and can't wait to see all your success in the future.
Thank you.